Turismo! You want to learn about heritage tourism? Well, this video is for you. Heritage tourism simply means traveling to new destinations with historical places in your heart.
In short, it means visiting a region to engage in experiences
and activities that teach you more about its past and present.
When you embark on such a journey, you will encounter people, places, and stories
that brings an area to life and helps you appreciate it on a much deeper level.
In today's video, we are going to share with you the learning we have learned in heritage tourism.
You will have so much fun
that you might not even realize you are learning.
But just a disclaimer, this video is made for academic purposes only.
The views and opinions doesn't reflect the professor and university views and opinions.
Credits to the pictures and background used,
as well as the authors of researchers cited for the benefit of the authors, as well as the student that used them.
Thank you, and without further ado, let's get started.
Three types of heritage sites. We have the natural, the cultural, and the mixed. Natural sites with beauty that maintains the environmental balance of the region and of the world. Our local site, we have the Tubo Taharif Natural Park. It is located in Palawan. It's every driver's dream as it covers 130 and 28,000 hectares, including the North and South Rift. Foreign site, Great Wall of China. It is located in Beijing, China, stretching to 6,000 kilometers, and it is one of those undeniable bucket list sites of the tourists. Now let's move on to the second type of heritage site. We have the cultural, man-made, and it demonstrates the highest achievement of human creativity. Our local site, we have the historic city of Vigan. It is located in Ilocos Sur, the best preserved of Spanish colonial town in Asia, according to the UNESCO. And for the cultural foreign site, we have the Pyramid of Giza. It is located in Egypt and known as the most iconic sites of the world. And the last type of heritage site, we have the mixed. It is the site combined of natural and cultural value. For the local site, we have the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordillera. It is located in Ifugao Province, and Cordillera Rice Terraces topping the list of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. For the foreign site, we have the Machu Picchu. It is located in Peru. It is built on lush, mountainous terrain and high above the Urubamba River.
Now let's discuss the benefits of cultural and heritage tourism. In fact, it actually has three parts. First is economics, second is social, and lastly, environmental. We are going to begin with the economics. First, of course, it injects new money in the economy. Also, it creates new jobs, supports small business, and it actually promotes the active preservation. Another thing is it builds vital relationships. It also helps encourage people. And let's go to the second part, which is social. And you know what's the good thing for this? It helps build social capital. Also, it promotes preservation, it promotes positive behavior, and it helps improve. Another thing, it promotes community beautification, which is great. And it builds opportunities for healthy, provides research, education, and work placement opportunities for students. It also creates enjoyable opportunities. It boosts local investment in heritage resources. And lastly is the environmental, where in fact this is actually a cycle, because from enjoying to understanding to valuing and to caring what really is heritage and cultural tourism.
There are two kinds of heritage. First is tangible cultural heritage. It refers to a physical artifact produced, maintained, and transmitted integrationally in a society. There are two types of tangible cultural heritage. First is immovable heritage. It includes historical buildings, monuments, and archaeological sites. Example of it are the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the Philippines. First is Mount Hamiguitan Range Wildlife Sanctuary. Second is Church of Santo Tomas de Villanueva. Third is Church of Nuestra Señora de la Asunción. Fourth is Paway Church. And fifth is Church of San Agustin Church in Manila. And also the historic city of Vigan. Plus Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park. And the second one is the movable heritage, and these are the national culture treasures under the movable heritage bracket, artifacts that are considered worthy of preservation for the future. And the example of movable heritage are Barangays, Manungol Burial Jar, Basi Revolt by Esteban Pichay Villanueva. It is a painting. The second heritage is cultural heritage. It is a cultural heritage tradition and living expression that are passed down from generations to generations within a particular community. There are 5 subcategories of this heritage. First is oral tradition and expressions including language. Second is performing arts. Third is social practices, rituals, and festive events. And fourth is the knowledge and practices concerning nature and the universe. Fifth is the traditional craftsmanship of tradition of making crafts and not crafts by itself. The Philippines has currently have a total of 3 intangible cultural heritage elements inscribed in the UNESCO representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. These are the Darangen epic of the Maranao people of Lake in Lanao, Hudhud chants of the Ifugao, and the Punuk, and Tuging rituals and games.
Heritage Program of the government and UNWTO, or United Nations World Tourism Organization, includes assessment, planning, preparing, and lastly, marketing. For example, in Vegan Heritage Conservation Program, the assessment includes enactment of several legislative measures that aim to safeguard and preserve the historic city, as it equally targets the heritage tourism and the supports of local production and services in the city. Meanwhile, in planning, it includes establishment of local regulations and guidelines, creating boundaries and buffer zones, and identifying allowable uses within the site. Second to the last, we have preparing, and preparing includes initial action such as rebuilding the public market, which was burned in 1994, and allocation of Internal Revenue Allotment or IRA. Preparing also includes knowledge and skills such as mapping, education and training, and publications. Last but not the least, we have marketing, and that includes information campaign to raise awareness about Vigan's rich history and heritage, a series of public hearings and participatory workshops, and lastly, we have cultural festival to safeguard and revitalize the intangible cultural heritage of Vigan.
I will be discussing the Republic Act 10066. It is an act for providing protection and conservation of the national cultural heritage, strengthening the National Commission of Culture and the Arts and its affiliated cultural agencies, and for other purposes. The drafting of the Omnibus Cultural Heritage Law, otherwise known as the Philippine Cultural Heritage Act, aimed to provide for the protection, preservation, and promotion of the nation's cultural heritage. Next is the importance of Republic Act 10066, its property and histories, and the ethnicity of local communities. It also aims to establish and strengthen cultural institutions and protect cultural workers and ensure their professional development and well-being. Through this law, the state endeavors to create a balanced atmosphere where historic past coexist in harmony with modern society. and to administer the heritage resources in a spirit of stewardship for the inspiration and benefit of the present up to the future generation.
The definition of terms are included in Article 2, Section 3 of the Republic Act Number 10,066, which is also known as National Cultural Heritage Act of 2009. There's a lot of terms, and here's some of them. The first one is the word commission. It shall refer to the National Commission for Culture and the Arts. I learned that NCCA formulates and implements policies and plans that will conserve and promote the nation's historical and cultural heritage. The second one is the word conservation. We Filipinos should always conserve and preserve our culture as it is a crucial factor in the long-term prosperity of our country. Through this, we can strengthen our sense of place and civic pride. We also have cultural agencies, which refer the government agencies with their specific areas of responsibility. For example, National Archives for Documents, Cultural Center of the Philippines for Culture and the Arts, and the third one is Komisyon sa Wikang Filipino, and a lot more. The next term is the word history. Through history, we can learn how past societies, systems, governments, cultures, and technologies were built, how they operated, and how they've changed. The rich history of the Philippines helps us to paint a detailed picture of where we stand today. Lastly, historical landmarks. These historical places give people a glimpse of the past. We can feel a different feeling when we visit places that have withstood the test of time.
How to consider register and conservation of cultural property. The Philippine Registry of Cultural Property is the repository of all information pertaining to cultural properties in the Philippines, deemed significant to our cultural heritage. It was established through Article 5, Section 4 of the National Heritage Act of 2009, the Republic Act 10066. This act provides for the protection, preservation, conservation, and promotion of the nation's cultural heritage, its properties and histories, and the ethnicity of local communities. It also aims to establish and strengthen cultural institutions and protect cultural workers and ensure their professional development and well-being. It plays a crucial role in identifying and providing information on all available cultural resources in the country, which can be used by the public, land use planners, property owners, developers, and the tourism industry. Increasing awareness and the understanding of cultural heritage, especially in local communities. So how are properties registered in the PRECAP? Cultural properties are registered through the combined effort of cultural agencies including the National Museum, the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, the National Archives, and the National Library of the Philippines, as well as the local government units or the LGUs. They shall work together in updating the PRECAP. The documentation of tangible and intangible properties in the Philippines is more important than ever given the constant trend of destruction and demolition, particularly in built heritage. To conserve the cultural property, it is required that all intervention works and measures on conservation of cultural properties must strictly adhere to the accepted international standard of conservation.
The National Cultural Heritage Act, officially designated as Republic Act Number 10066, is a Philippine law that created the Philippine Registry of Cultural Property, known as PRECAP, and took other steps to preserve cultural buildings that are over 50 years old. It was signed into law on March 25, 2009, a house that has significant importance to the Filipino culture, declared to be a heritage house by the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, also known as the National Historical Institute. Historical markers are placed on the house by the Commission to indicate their significance, also known as ancestral homes that have figured an historic event of house such as the Bonifacio Trial House in Maragondon, Cavite, or houses of national heroes of the Philippines like Juan Luna Shrine and Badoc, Ilocos Norte, are included among the national categories of shrines of National Historic Land.
What is cultural property? Cultural property is something that we can be proud of. It is where the origins of heritage began. The tangible and intangible properties are the assets of group or society that is inherited from the past generations, such as laws, language, social standards, beliefs, and architecture. Did you know why is it important? Because it is a powerful tool in determining what is remembered and what is forgotten, and it strengthens resilience and reconciliation after any conflict. The first example of cultural property is the Church of San Agustin, Manila. It is a Roman Catholic church under the auspice of the Order of St. Augustine and located inside the historic walled city of Intramuros in Manila. Did you know that San Agustin is the oldest stone church in the Philippines? Second, the founder of Manila, Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, is actually buried inside the church. Secondly, the Tongariro National Park in New Zealand, it is recognized by UNESCO as having dual World Heritage status for its cultural and natural features. You can ski board, hike, stargazing, and more. Did you know that the movie The Lord of the Rings is actually filmed in this park? Yes, it is.
Next, I will share with you on how we can protect our heritage and why it is important to protect. We all know how our heritage sites give us the sense of reminiscing about our history, our past. The question is, how should we protect our heritage? First, we must be respectful on these heritage sites. We can do that by avoiding vandalism and throwing garbage in inappropriate places. Although this is not just applicable to heritage sites, but we should have the sense of respect to places that we visit. We can also participate in projects like cleanliness drives and other like it. And lastly, we should spread awareness and knowledge about heritage sites and how important they are to our culture, our history, and our civilization. And we can create awareness by sharing news and links through social networking sites such as Facebook and Twitter. The other question is why it is important to protect our heritage. It is important to protect it because we will be able to analyze how we can maintain its state and the resources that we need to conserve it. These sites provide a sense of identity to this ever-changing world of ours for the benefit of the present and the future generations to come. That's all. Thank you.
What is cultural agency? It is a platform for academics, artists, community leaders, or active citizens in general. It is an invitation to revive a long humanistic tradition that combines arts and research in the service of civic development. And now, let's proceed to local agencies. First is National Museum of the Philippines. They are tasked for the preservation, conservation, protection of movable and movable cultural properties, and for the enjoyment of present and future generations. Next is Cultural Center of the Philippines. I learned that it's owned by a government-controlled corporation established to preserve, develop, and promote arts and culture in the Philippines. It provides performance and exhibition venues for various local and international productions programs. So how about in foreign agencies? In foreign agencies, we have U.S. Committee of the Blue Shield and ASOR Cultural Heritage Initiatives. The function of Blue Shield national committees is work together as the cultural equivalent of Red Cross, providing an emergency response to cultural property at risk from armed conflict and natural disasters. While in ASOR Cultural Heritage Initiatives, I learned that they are working in the conflict zone of Syria, Northern Iraq, and Libya, and promotes global awareness of at-risk cultural property, including museums, libraries, archaeological sites, historic, and religious sites.
What is UNESCO World Heritage Site? World Heritage Site any of various areas or objects inscribed on United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or what we call the UNESCO World Heritage List.
The sites are designated as having outstanding universal value under the Convention concerning the protection of the world cultural and natural heritage. This document was adopted by UNESCO in 1972 and formally took effect in 1975 after having been ratified in 20 countries. It provides a framework for international cooperation in preserving and protecting cultural treasures and natural areas throughout the world. These are the criteria to be included on the World Heritage List. 1. To represent a masterpiece of human creative genius. 2. To exhibit an important interchanges of human values over a span of time or within a cultural area of the world on developments in architecture or technology, monumental arts, town planning, or landscape design. 3. To bear a unique or at least exceptional testimony to a cultural tradition or to a civilization which is living or which has disappeared. 4. To be an outstanding examples of a type of building, architectural, or technological ensemble or landscape, which illustrates a significant stage in human history. 5. To be an outstanding example of a traditional human settlement, land use, or sea use, which is representative of a culture or cultures or human interaction with the environment, especially when it has become vulnerable under the impact of irreversible change. 6. To be directly or tangibly associated with events or living traditions, with ideas or with beliefs, with artistic and literary work of outstanding universal significance. The committee considered that this criterion should be preferably be used in conjunction with other criteria. 7. To contain superlative phenomena or areas of exceptional natural beauty and aesthetic importance. 8. To be outstanding examples representing major stages of Earth's history, including the record of life, significant ongoing geological processes in the development of landforms, or significant geomorphic or physiographic features. Number 9. To be outstanding examples representing significant ongoing ecological and biological processes in the evolution and development of terrestrial, freshwater, coastal, and marine ecosystem, and communities of plant and animals. And for number 10, to contain the most important and significant natural habitats for in situ conservation of biological diversity, including those containing threatened species of outstanding universal value from the point of view of science or conservation.
Here are the top 9 local UNESCO heritage sites in the Philippines. Next is the Tupataha Reefs National Park. Third is the Puerto Princesa Subterranean National Park. Next is we have the historic Vigan. Vigan is known to be unique because it is the country's most extensive and only surviving historic city that dates back to 16th century. Next we have is San Agustin Church. San Agustin Church is located in General Luna Street in Metro Manila. It is also known as the Immaculate Concepcion Parish. Next we have is the Church of Nuestra Señora de la Asunción. Next is the Church of Santo Tomas de Villanueva. And lastly, we have the Hamiguitan Range Wildlife Sanctuary.
Church of Santo Tomas de Villanueva, Mount Hamiguitan Range Wildlife Sanctuary, Nubian Monument, Kathmandu Valley, Cape Floral Region, Machu Picchu, Great Barrier Reef, Bruges, Yellowstone National Park, the Great Wall of China, Petra, and Taj Mahal. At 12 UNESCO World Heritage Sites that are truly captivating and predominantly defined by their natural beauty. Out of 12 sites, Yellowstone National Park is a protected area that I choose to share some information today. Yellowstone is located in Wyoming, United States of America. It showcases a unique manifestation of geothermal forces, natural beauty, and wild ecosystem. UNESCO World Heritage Sites indeed have a significant impact on the tourism development and sustainability of the sites and the country. There are a lot of informations regarding UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And I came to think that it's not just about the beauty, but the value of meeting at least one criteria that will bring importance to the heritage and gain international.
I am Jaja and I am proud to represent the tourism management.
I am MG and I am proud to represent the tourism management.
I am Sam and I am proud to represent the tourism management.
I am Tel and I am proud to represent the tourism management.
I am Kat and I'm proud to represent the tourism management.
I am Julie and I am proud to represent the tourism management.
I am Alex and I'm proud to present the tourism management.
I am Bri and I'm proud to represent the tourism management.
I am Leka and I am proud to represent the tourism management.
I am Aya and I am proud to represent the tourism management.
I'm Kit and I'm proud to represent tourism management.
I am Yuki and I am proud to represent the tourism management.
I am Alex and I am proud to represent the tourism management.
I am Micah and I am proud to represent tourism management.